everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Tax Tips channel. My name is Cherry Chen, a chartered professional accountant located in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. And I'm on a mission to become the Google Maps for hardworking Canadians seeking financial freedom. How's your new year been? A couple of days ago, we got a call from our property manager in Hamilton telling us that there is a pipe leak in one of our student rentals that we're planning to sell very shortly. Unfortunately, we have to dump a bunch of money into fixing that pipe. That is the specific part that I'm not missing from managing our own properties or managing through our property manager. I hope you have a better start of your year managing your portfolio, which is the reason why we have Andrew here today, because Andrew leads an asset management company that helps everyday hardworking people manage essentially single family home portfolio.
Right.
So welcome, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, tell us a little bit about Share. We had you on before. If you don't mind reminding our audience what Share does, what your
Yeah.
company does.
Yeah. Share, we're a end-to-end investing service. We work with everyday Canadians and Americans to help them find high returning rental homes across landlord-friendly states and tax-friendly states. And then we help them source it, manage it, and then grow their portfolio while they focus on their professional, personal lives until they want to retire.
So, using that as an example, my student rental that I am about to list for sale. So, if it is managed under Share, and if it happens to be in the States, because Share doesn't deal with the Ontario landlord rules, just so you know, for a really obvious reason. So, if it happens to be in the States, and you guys will take care of it.
Yes, yeah, something like that would get escalated to us, and we would work with the PMs expeditiously to get it addressed.
Ah, okay, cool, cool, cool. So I know you guys specialize in single family home investment. Why single family home?
The U.S. single-family home is a unique beast of its own. It's really a resilient asset class, and I always say it's the most Canadian investment because
Kidding.
it's pretty safe. Like after the '08 mortgage crisis, it really came to the limelight and surface because of how resilient it is during a recession. Rental demand goes up, people want more space, and long-term rentals allows you to stabilize your cash flow during down cycles. And then when the market is good, the price point runs up and allows you to kind of pick and choose when to liquidate or just hold or refinance. And it's not just any single family home. There's a criteria to it. We typically work at or below the national price average of a home.
Okay. I don't know about the states that well, which is the reason why we are co-hosting Share, I guess, a journey that I wanted to go on to learn more about how to invest in the US and how to use this single family home asset class. We're hosting this webinar on February 29th from I think 8 to 10 right now. I know it gets longer and longer, but it is going to be 8 to 10 p.m. February 29th, and the link to register for the webinar is going to be listed below in the notes section. In Canada, at least where we live in Ontario, single family home do not cash flow. So how much negative cash flow are we talking about by investing in the US?
I mean, depending on your financing strategy, but our goal is never to find cash flow negative
Don't
homes.
laugh. That's the reason, like the reason why I have to sell this particular property is because it's a student rental and it is a good market to sell. There is not enough not enough supply for student rental. And the reason why I got into student rental to begin with was because there is no cash flow from single family home.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. I mean, I think for us, the starting point is cash flow positive. We wouldn't entertain anything else unless, for some odd reason, the client was like, I really want to get into this house.
Okay, so you can find single family home cash flowing properties in the States.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So now we're talking. Um, how much cash flow are we talking about?
It really depends on your financing strategy, which we'll kind of walk you through. But you could talk about a couple $100s a month that grows over year because there's no rent control. To depending again on your financing strategy, several $100s if you'd like.
Okay, cool, cool. Um, like several $100s.
American.
American. Okay, good. So that's a good starting point. But then, how do I get to the golden $10,000 a month? Now, when I say 10,000, the golden $10,000, I'm talking about the golden $10,000 Canadian a month. I'm not like aiming for $10,000 US, but yes,
Yeah.
I'm happy to receive $10,000 US a month as well.
Yeah, it's not an overnight thing, although if you do have that kind of a war chest, then we could get you there pretty quickly. But we do, this is sort of a 5, 10 year journey depending on what your timeline is and what your capital is. But, we would play the refinancing game quite aggressively, diversify across markets, but look for the opportunities to find the right house, let it grow, because again, the states we're looking at, there's no rent control and typically high rental demand. So as we stack houses, we'll refinance them in different sort of portfolio or blanket loans and pull that equity out and kind of rinse and repeat. But that's what we do. We actively look for growth opportunities on your portfolio. That typically is a full-time effort.
Okay, so I know Dimitri from our earlier video mentioned Dimitri is also from Share, and I'm sure we will provide a link to Dimitri's video. And Dimitri is your Chief Investment Officer at Share,
Correct.
right? Also
Yes.
one of the founders of Share, and he showed me stack of papers, and trust me, and it's stack of papers with a lot of numbers in terms of where you would be able to invest. Please don't laugh, but it is hilarious. I know you guys do your own research in terms of advising Shares clients where to buy, which is amazing. But I don't buy it until I see some example. Tell me some example of like people achieving that $10,000 monthly cash flow.
Yeah, we have some clients in various professions like plumbers, nurses that have achieved it. Obviously, not overnight. They started, well before Share was, you know, s- established. But now they're Share clients. They started maybe about 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, started buying throughout the US. Maybe they started in Florida, caught the boom, and then, refinanced their properties and has constantly kind of added more. But they were doing it themselves, working directly with the property manager. So what we noticed is that they got in really early, had a lot of equity growth, but wasn't really focused on it. And what we did was we looked at it and said, hey, you have a lot of equity here. Let's put it together a plan, pull that equity out, buy more. And they diversified across different types of homes. Some homes have higher cash flow yield at lower price points, and that's where we put them in. And now they've amassed over 8 to 12 units, all cash flowing pretty aggressively. And when they're ready to retire, we'll say, hey, what kind of cash flow do you want to pull back to? Is it six figure? Then we can help them adjust that for the exit plan.
Mm. So okay, you're using a lot of like nice terms there. So how much money do they need to have to get to that $10,000 cash flow? As in like, I know it like just to caution everybody, it's not being done overnight, but it's 5 to 10 years plan. Like, how much do these people make on an annual salary?
I mean, for a plumber, nurse, anywhere from 80,000 to $100,000 a year.
Yep, 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 yep.
You want to put away some money. It does take money to kind of get things rolling.
Yep.
Right now, I would say around 50 to 70K. It takes some savings. Depends if you have other means of capital, but that's probably adequate enough to get started.
Mm-hmm. And then through appreciation, refinancing, and additional saving, because it
Yes.
cannot be done, keep
Yes.
refinancing, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does require multiple cash injections over
Yes.
the years until we hit a critical mass, meaning where, you've got enough homes that they're appreciating and over every other couple of years on cycles, they appreciate so much that we can pull out some equity and refinance and then rinse and repeat. And at some point, you don't need to put additional capital in.
Okay. So I received one of Share's email recently, and this is totally not prep. I think it's recommending a property in Atlanta, and it's about 240,000 or 214,000, one of those. So how much of that particular property? I don't know how involved you are in terms of putting together those emails, but how much would a property being like asking for 240,000 US, single family home, would be renting out for?
That 240,000, most likely around 2,000 to $2,300
Yep.
a month. I'd say gross. Yeah, monthly.
Monthly.
Monthly, yeah.
What? So let's just use 2000 because 2000 is easy to do the calculation. So if I take the 2000 times 12, that's 24,000. For those of people, those investors who are old enough to understand that 1% rule of your rent, you take that $24,000 rent, divide by your purchase price of 240,000. That's the 1% rule, right? Yeah, so that's amazing. That fits that criteria. Okay, so how does Canadian get mortgages? Because I don't have 240,000 US sitting around.
Right. Yeah, like that's sort of the beauty about the U.S. single family rental market is such a established asset class, meaning like it's so many average individuals invest in it that after the '08 mortgage crisis, they created a loan called a DSCR loan, debt service cover ratio loan, made for investors to protect investors. And
Oh, okay.
in order to qualify for that, you basically just need a house that can cash flow and cover all your debt. There's a certain ratio that they look for. They look at the house as a business. They don't necessarily look at the borrower's credit. So if you can constantly find these houses that cash flow at a certain ratio, these lenders will continue to lend to you. And a lot of them do work with foreign nationals.
Okay, so from your experience at Share, because I know Share does help investors, your clients, to get mortgage as well. How much are we looking at? Like we're talking about this property at 240, say 240. It could be 214, which is lower, but it's not substantially lower. Like how much down payment am I looking at to invest in that property? Because I was going to call Erwin up and say like this looks like a decent house. We I want to I wanted to take the February 29th opportunity to have Share to convince me, but yes, how much are we looking at in terms of down payment?
Yeah, so unfortunately, with the higher interest rates, the down payments are a bit higher. But as a foreign national as well, without sort of any established credit, you may need to come in at a higher down payment. So you're probably looking around 35 to 40%.
Okay, so 40% times 240 is 80,
Around 96.
96.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's on the higher end.
Yeah.
And the 250 is probably like on the higher end of the homes. We go from anywhere from $150,000 homes to $350,000 homes.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Those are all US dollars number.
Yeah.
But still, this is a lot more palatable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, compared to the local Ontario real estate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So,
100%.
yes. Okay, so if you want to find out more, including like tax structure or what Share does and how it works, and also in terms of where we are going to invest, as Cherry and Erwin, where we are going to invest, we are hosting this webinar February 29th at 8 p.m. It's going to be a 2-hour workshop for everyone who's interested. So make sure that you sign up in the link below. Well, thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
Is there
Thanks for having
anything
me.
else that you want to share with us about Share?
Share will share. No, but I would love to meet you all on our virtual seminar or virtual webinar.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yes.